Hello everybody, this is Tim here again, here another movie review, this time for Fear Street, Prom Queen. Now in terms of the Fear Street movies, I haven't really loved any of these. Like the one I liked the most was really the first one, and even that one I thought was just alright. A lot of people seem to really like the second one, or at least people who enjoy these movies seem to like the second one the most. My problem with that one is that it was a Friday 13th ripoff, which I could have went with. I could be okay with that if they make it fun. But the problem is that they were trying to have like actual children as the victims, and because of that, 80% of the kills were off screen. And I'm like, well, if you're gonna try to ape Friday the 13th, you need to bring the gore here, and if you're gonna try to kill actual children, then I need to see the kills for you to truly have that have dramatic impact. And the movie didn't have it. So overall, that one was just like okay, and then the third one was bad. So it was like, all right, okay, bad. This one I'll just go ahead and say is all right. I'd give it a 2.5 out of 4. It's an all right movie. I've heard some people complain about how the movie's just kind of a straightforward generic slasher that doesn't really offer anything new. I'm sorry if you hear my dogs barking in the background. They bark really easily. But how it's just kind of a straightforward generic slasher that doesn't offer anything new, and I'm like, yeah, that's kind of true. It is maybe a bit too generic. At the same time, I don't need a slasher film to reinvent the wheel. I'm perfectly fine with a slasher film just being a fun slasher film. And R.L. Stein, like his stories and stuff, have never like reinvented the wheel. Most of them are just rip-offs of movies, which is fine. But his stuff is like never reinvented the wheel, so I'm okay with this like not trying to like be some reinvention. And I'm like, what were people's expectations with this? Maybe if you like tremendously loved those other three movies, maybe you went into this one going, "Oh wait, I can't wait to see how awesome this is." But I didn't. Like those other three movies are not that great. They're really not. So I really don't know what some people's expectations for this were, because it really is nothing but just a basic slasher film, and I'm fine with that. But the thing is it entertaining as a basic slasher film? It is somewhat. You got this character pretty much named Granger who's aggravated to death by this other asshole character who's kind of like the popular girl in school who's just a total bitch. And she has this friend or whatever who's kind of like this more tomboyish rocker chick. And she does this prank in class where she pretends like to cut her hand off or whatever. Um, and you do know it's a prank, so it doesn't really have dramatic impact. You can tell it's not going to be real. And I think you got like Chris Klein in this as a teacher, and he's also like the father of the bitch girl. Um, and then the killer just kind of walks around in a mask or whatever on prom night, like killing off anybody who's like running for prom queen, basically. Which really this could have been just like a sequel to Prom Night, just like Prom Night number 5 or 6 or whatever. Honestly, that's kind of what it feels like. Um, but you got the killer running around in kind of like this generic looking mask, but then and a hoodie, I believe. And but the kills, some of the kills are pretty fun. It is gory. I did appreciate that. Like some of the kills are pretty good. Um, you get like a person like a sawed in the face or whatever, and you get like this one kill where this dude like gets both his hands chopped off. Which I thought that I figured that I thought when I saw that maybe that was like supposed to be like a misdirect to make the audience think that because the killer chopped his hands off, that maybe the killer was the female friend or whatever. I will say this: I didn't guess who the killer was at the end. Lily Taylor is in this. I believe she's like the advisor to the principal. I thought probably she was going to be the killer because she's a big name actor. But at the end, it turned out it's a Chris Klein, pretty much from American Pie, and he's killing the people because he wanted his daughter to win prom queen because he saw how much she wanted it. I guess his bitch daughter. And so he turns out to be the killer at the end. But there actually is another twist, which you can see coming because the movie keeps going. And if it was a traditional slasher, it probably would have ended with him getting killed, or him revealing whatever at the end, and him also getting killed at the end. But the movie keeps going, so you know there's going to be some type of other twist. So you find out that the mom is actually in on it too, the crazy mom. And then you actually get a double twist where you find out the bitch daughter is actually in on it too. Which I will admit, I didn't see there being like 3 killers by the end, like the whole family being crazy. But in a way, I do like it because the character of the daughter in this, the bitch one, she is such a bitch that when she gets killed, I was like, thank God. Like at the end of the movie, the main character in this, the Granger girl, who does a good job acting wise, she goes like to stay with the bitchy girl because she's trying to do the right thing and she wants to comfort her because her dad was the killer, and she goes over to her house, and that's when the mom goes like crazy and goes over with a knife to try to kill her, and then you find out that the bitch daughter is actually in on it as well, the bully chick. And then the mom and the bitch are basically trying to kill the hero girl, the Granger girl, and she kicks the bitch chick over like the railing, and she falls down and gets like impaled. And it's like, yeah. And then the mom tries to take her out, and she ends up taking like a trophy and beating her in the side of the head with it, which was kind of cool. And she's just kind of laying there like, you'll be nothing because you don't come from money like us, so you're not cool. That's basically what she's saying. So I'm like, yeah, this whole family is a piece of shit. So then the chick walks outside, and she's like, I'm effing Granger or whatever. That's who I am. And I'm like, you didn't really need that cheeseball line. If it wouldn't have been for that, I probably would have given this like a decent score instead of just an all right time waster movie, which is what it really is. But overall, this is an all right time waster movie. As a slasher flick, it's an all right time killer. I liked it as an all right time killer. I would say this is probably the second best Fear Street movie in my opinion out of the four that we have. Just because it does act as pretty much a one-off story and doesn't try to force into like a to be continued thing like the end of that original movie did, which I didn't like because that was clearly just a one-off story that was really stretched out in three movies for no reason. Here we get this is just like kind of a one-off film that beginning, middle, and end, and which I appreciated. So overall, I would say this is the second best of the Fear Street movies for me in a series that I don't like. So if you're asking for my opinion, I mean, if you want to know my opinion on this franchise, which is a franchise I do not like, I'd say the first one's all right. This one's all right. Um, the second one is passable, okay, whatever. And then that third movie from the first trilogy or whatever is just eh. So yeah, overall, it's just like it's a meh franchise for me. It'd be like an okay meh franchise for like teens. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you again.